Today's call is leadership, and I want to remind everybody before we start the call, if you want to raise your hand, you can always do that. Press the letter 1. Our moderator, Mike Sebo, will see that your hand is raised and acknowledge any question or comment you might have. Also, I'd like to welcome Clayton Freeman to our consulting staff. He's part of the growth we're achieving, and Clayton is beginning as a part of our consulting team. First of all, on the leadership point of the call, I want you to ask your question, what is it? What is it that makes good leadership? Or let's even be bolder, great leadership. I'm going to go over some points today that I think are just essential for leadership and also essential for success in whatever endeavor we're doing. And the first thing we have to commit to is that we must always develop the people you're working with. Do they know what they're supposed to do? Have you trained them in the processes that make the dealership successful? If they don't know or they haven't been trained, then it's our fault. Are you allowing them to compromise your processes? If you are, then I'll be so bold as to say you don't have them. If you're allowing compromise on a process as a leader, then you have no processes. The only way that these things work is the leader does not accept compromise. I think that a good leader understands what makes the staff click individually, that you have to talk with these folks one-on-one. Ask them what they're working towards, how they want to develop, how they're doing. Should never be a question in their mind about how they're doing. You must review the progress they're making and compliment them whenever you can, whenever possible. Compliment them on their progress, or coach them the ways they can improve. I think it's critical that every one of our team understands the mission. And I can promise you that in my company, everyone understands the mission. The mission to help others. The mission is to encourage and motivate people to do the right things. There's no way that anyone on the team should question the mission. Number one, customer care. I was in a dealership yesterday where I heard an advisor actually say this to another team member. Well, we can't do that, or we can't do this. We don't operate. They're challenging. That vehicle's under warranty. Doesn't matter if the wiper blades are streaking. Now, this vehicle, they had a policy. This dealership had a policy to wash the cars. The car had some sap on it, and they were looking for ways to get out of washing the car because it had sap on it. It wouldn't be convenient. Might scratch the paint. Well, the customer says that this vehicle, he washed it at home and the sap came off it. And the advisor actually looked over and said, then have them pull the hose out at home. We shouldn't be messing with it. The guy just bought a new Cadillac from this dealership 4,000 miles ago. And already they were trying to make excuses to compromise the process of washing the vehicle. Yeah, it's inconvenient. Yeah, the wiper blades are streaking, the guy said. It's under warranty, there's no revenue there. Maybe the area service manager for General Motors would say, why are you putting wiper blades on that? 4,000 miles. You see how easy it is? We can get away from customer care. Now, one of our other consultant staff heard another statement at this dealership that it was appalling. Does that mean that we ignore these issues? Where was the service manager? This advisor actually said, according to another consultant, we don't, that customer, what do they think? That customer is the only one we have? They think they run this place? We run this place. How upside down is that, folks? How upside down is that? Whenever the focus gets removed from the customer, everybody in that team loses. But where's the leadership? Where's the direction? Where's the guidance? Where's the management? They're out doing other tasks. He has an office right off the drive, service drive. Very seldom gets in it because he's tied up in dispatch or he's tied up in putting out fires. And he thinks that's what he's supposed to do. Is that understanding the mission? Is that improving customer care? Is that developing the team to assist each other, respect, and encourage? The team must have integrity in everything. It must have the focus on the mission. It really must boil down to taking care of that customer. But if the leadership isn't involved or they're working in dispatch, then the next section of this conference call becomes critical. Leadership must develop and plan the day. If it's tied up with operational tasks, you can't lead. The team needs to know who does what, how they do it, when they do it. Always focused on customer care. If you're tied up with operational tasks, your leadership is lacking. Sign of a good leader would be someone that they work the drive at the busiest peak times. They're talking to the customers in the drive. They're available. They're working the mission. Customer. They walk the customer waiting area often. And they talk with them. You know how if you go to a really nice restaurant, and really most of the franchise restaurants as well, you'll see the manager walking the tables. How we doing for you? Is there anything that you need? Do you think that all of these franchise, all of these managers do that because it's convenient? Or do they do that because it's essential to help them fulfill the mission? It's to help them care for customer needs. It's to head off issues before they become finalized. If someone's in your wait area and they've been there for 45 minutes on an oil change without anyone giving them an update, and the manager of that facility asks them how they're doing, they can get directly involved with it. Oh, let me check on the progress of that for you. Now, is that going to relieve the customer somewhat? Is that going to relieve the situation? More times than not, the vast majority, the answer would be yes. The customer wants to know we care. And if the leader cares, if it cares from the top, it'll correct a lot of errors. But when you're talking to the customer, I think a wonderful question to ask them, how can we be better? How can we improve? And then listen. That doesn't mean you ask that question just because. You ask that question to gain information, knowledge, and wisdom of how that dealership can improve. Implement those changes. And the final thing I want to talk about, final section of this call on leadership. There are times a leader will have to make the tough calls and direct the team. Some of those calls aren't easy. They're tough. You got someone been there for 15 years and they've done it that way always. And doggone it, they're cousins with the dealer. They're friends with the dealer's wife. Whatever the issue, stop it. A leader has to make those tough calls and get directly involved immediately. If you're the type of leader that says, well, I'll go to my office and think about this. Doggone it, I heard the advisors tell a customer in front of a customer, they don't run this place. We run this place. We're not going to provide good customer care for any reason. Be the type of leader that gets directly involved, that won't let that compromise. Without delay, run to the problem. Run to the issue. Don't allow that compromise to start at the leadership position. Be involved with it. Be directly involved with it. Confront it. That doesn't fly here. And if it comes down to it, and the employee, part of that team, can't change, can't see the improvement, then I will tell you something straight from the bottom of my heart. It's just a cancer. A person like that is a cancer for that team. And it will spread like a tumor and end up destroying life. It'll end up removing customers, clients, happiness, joy. It will remove the ability for the team to accomplish the mission. And it starts with the leader. Starts with the decision. In this place, we do business this way. We don't compromise. It's all about integrity. It's all about doing it right. It's all about being consistent. And it starts with a decision at the top. And it goes right down through the team without compromise. The leader gets involved with the issues, directs them, and everyone knows where they stand without question. These are the characteristics of leadership that make a dealership successful. And really, every day we go into the mission. Understand these simple truths about leadership, and you'll begin to make a difference immediately. Okay, without that, everybody have a great day, and I appreciate your being attentive on the call. Thank you.